Was it out of ambition, or to seek an adventure into the unknown for James, Jimmy Downey, when he volunteered for the SAS and left his parent unit, the Cameron Highlanders, in 1941 after a short time in the Liverpool Scottish Regiment? The SAS Special Air Service was a newly formed unit of the British Army. It was an idea formed in the mind of David Stirling as he languished in a Cairo hospital, having sustained a back injury parachuting from an aeroplane. The injury plagued him for many years, but it did not hinder his plans to recruit a special band of elite soldiers to drop behind enemy lines in North Africa, where they least expected to be hit, with tactics of hit and runs. David saw the potential in his raiding party blowing up stationary aircraft, fuel dumps, and knocking out Axis communications. It was a known fact to a number of army chiefs that the long-range desert group had been operating behind enemy lines for some time, gathering intelligence which helped the Allies. The Germans never believed anyone could travel the rugged plains and mountains around Jalo, Siwa, or the Great Sea Sand. One of the criteria for SAS troopers was the ability to parachute from an aircraft. Early in his training days, Jimmy Downey jumped from an aircraft at Ringway Airport, Manchester. He didn't execute a textbook landing consequently. He broke an ankle spending some time in Royal Alexandra Infirmary, Paisley. He returned to his unit at Darvel, southeast Scotland. David met some criticism for his plans from high-ranking individuals. One such skeptic was a group captain of the Royal Air Force 216 bomber transport in Heliopolis, Egypt. He met while touting for suitable aircraft for parachute training of his SAS troops. The SAS commander was told in no uncertain terms, "You're doomed to fail, old boy." David couldn't resist a challenge decided on a handshake by the two men. He could travel to Heliopolis with a small band of men. An attempt would be made to disable aircraft if they had been the enemy. The SAS had to leave clues they had gained access to Heliopolis and had approached aircraft. To the group captain, it could test his security, and being the wiser extra security would be mounted. For David, this was a chance to see if his troops were ready to go on real operations against the enemy. A few weeks after their first meeting, the two men met again. The group captain shook David's hand and congratulated him on his successful raid on Heliopolis and the stationary aircraft. David had great satisfaction in notifying the group captain the operation had been completed. Each aircraft had colored stick tape placed on certain parts of the intended target. If live explosives had been used by the enemy, David teased with a grin there would be no aircraft standing. Some of the targets had more than 2 or 3 colored sticking tapes. It was beers all round for the troopers who had executed David's plans to a man. This would set a goal for future live operations. The troopers did encounter extra security, but were never discovered as they gained entry to the airport and the stealth approach to each target as they had been trained to do. David did receive a small wager he and the group captain had agreed on should go to the victor. James Statter's books are available to buy on any Amazon site worldwide. Links are in the description below.